So with some of my most popular videos in the past being me just cleaning a car, I thought during these grubby months during this English winter we're having, it'd be a perfect time to make another video that people will enjoy. This time the subject matter is a Mercedes Benz C220 CDI finished in white with the AMG optional extra alloy wheels with the diamond cut faces. Family member's car that hadn't been cleaned in a long time that I know needed a little bit of loving to bring it back to its former glory. I started off by using my Kranzle K10 pressure washer to start ripping through the grime on the wheels, and knowing that the wheels hadn't been cleaned deeply in quite a while, I didn't mess around and went straight in with Auto Finesse Iron Out as my heavy wheel cleaner. Not traditionally a wheel cleaner, not many people know, however when used as a wheel cleaner it's absolutely brilliant. So for this one-off deep clean it was absolutely ideal for what I needed, and then that later in the video we'll see meant that I could use this as a base layer to add a layer of wheel wax to make sure the wheels stayed there best for longest. Once the wheels were done, a quick go around with some APC on the tyre and arch was all that was needed before a thorough rinse off. With the wheels now done, I started to concentrate on the bulk of the car itself, that being the bodywork. The first thing I always do whenever I'm working on a vehicle that hasn't been cleaned in quite a while is actually to pressure wash or use a garden hose, if that's all you have, on the bodywork to knock off as much loose grime before you then come back in with a pre-wash cleaner. So in this instance I'm using Auto Finesse Citrus Power. There's loads out there, there's APCs out there, use what you feel comfortable using. For me it's always been Citrus Power, and you'll know that if you go and look back through my videos. On a winter's day like today you can leave this to dwell on the car for quite a while, maybe go indoors, fill your hot buckets up and then come back out and start rinsing the car down. As you can see from sort of the before and afters I created with the pressure washer, Citrus Power really did do a wicked job. Now once that was rinsed again and the vehicle was as clean as I could get it without touching the vehicle, I went on to use the Microfibre Madness XL wash pad. Been playing around with this, just more of a sort of a research and development side of things for myself. Mixed views at the moment, really enjoy the size, not sure about the weight of the sponge in between the two microfiber layers, but I'll keep playing and see how that goes for me. That combined with a 2-bucket wash method meant that I could perform a very safe wash on this Mercedes Benz. Now the only thing that I do is I use a separate wash mitt or wash pad for the lows of the car. So as you can see here I grabbed the noodle mitt. The noodle mitts are great just because of how freely they rinse in the rinse bucket, meaning that I know any dirt that was on that noodle mitt actually comes out very quickly and very easily. Perfect for doing your lowers, the rear bumper, maybe the back of the car if you've got a hatchback, and even down to sort of basic things like the door shuts. Door shuts are something I do at the end of every wash process. If you just rinse them through with a little wash mitt, the shampoo gets rinsed out with the final rinse anyway, and it's just a way of keeping them tip top and clean. After that was done, it was just down to another thorough rinse before I looked at assessing the paintwork further. So with the car now thoroughly rinsed down, I could really assess what was happening on the paintwork now there was no further dirt, Unfortunately, I did realise that the car needed some form of decontamination. Unfortunately, due to weather and time, the day that I filmed this, it wouldn't have been advisable to clay bar the car, knowing that I wouldn't have been able to do the superseding treatment on the car that I would have desired after a clay bar. So I went for a chemical decontamination, a two-part stage, which is a touchless process pretty much. The first stage is to remove any ferrous metal contamination on the paintwork, and for this we'll be using Iron Out. Like I said earlier in the video, I used Iron Out on the wheels, but Iron Out's not actually a wheel cleaner as such. It's designed to remove contamination from paintwork originally, but it's been subject to a good wheel cleaner since. Now, as you can see, the chemicals in Iron Out light up with any ferrous metal contamination sitting on the surface, which can be quite a sharp contamination, and start to dissolve that, and that's why you get that reaction process within the colour. No need to really agitate the Iron Out on this occasion. It can be done, but the paintwork wasn't that bad, so I just took the pressure washer and just rinsed that thoroughly again, ensuring it was of all the nooks and crannies. Now, the interesting thing to note here is the water behaviour on the car. You will have noticed that Iron Out isn't actually damaging so much to your waxes and your sealants. Superseding that, it was time for some obliterate. Now, due to the amount that I actually use this chemical nowadays, I like to wear a face mask just because it really does get to me. Decanted into a pro bottle with a chemical resistant trigger head. Way easier to use, I find, and then it's just a case of spray it onto the areas that you find necessary. Now, while I'm doing the Iron Out process, I always keep a keen eye on where's covered in tar and where's not. On these Mercs, it's typically the side skirts and behind the wheels and the rear bumper. However, during the wheel cleaning process, I noticed that a few tar spots have built up on the barrels of the wheel, so I would attack them at the same time. This was given about 5 minutes to dwell on the paintwork. That meant the chemical could fully break down any tar deposits before I came back with just an old work cloth to remove any tar deposits that would have been loosened by the obliterate. Finally, the same process was done on the wheel, and then a quick clean of the tyre. If you've seen my previous videos, you will definitely know that I'm a big fan of cleaning tyres with obliterate from time to time. It's not an every week thing, don't see it as that, but it's a great deep cleaner as and when you need it. With that done, the solvent cleaner was then cleansed off the surface with further water, and then I dusted a fine layer of finale around the car. Although the car wasn't beading and sheeting water dramatically, there was a couple of dry areas, so I took the finale just to give it a bit of lubrication whilst drying, teamed with an Aqua Deluxe, and the car dried effortlessly, very easy. Now, a quick process on a deeper clean that I always do following the dry of the car is dress any grills or wheel arches that I need to do with a sprayable dressing like Dressel. I knew that I would be polishing and waxing the car, so that's a good time to mop up any overspray with them products, so I always do that pre-polish stage. Now, with that done, it was on to the polishing stage itself. Again, time was against me here, so I just needed something quick, simple and easy to get around the car with that I knew would give me the results that I wanted. And being an Auto Finesse worker and working with these products day in and day out, I knew that would be triple for me. It'd leave a nice base layer that I could then layer a nice layer of wax over afterwards. Worked in with a microfibre applicator, gone around the whole car, and then came back and buffed it off. me going around the whole car, coming back to the boot lid. It kind of left me where I started, so I knew the triple would had the same amount of time to cure around the car. Again, just grabbed the trusty work cloth here. Personally, I prefer the grey variety to the whites. Personal preference, I don't know why. And then just buffed off the triple. With that said and done, it was time to add a layer of protection to the car. Again, time was against me, so I wanted something absolutely effortless that I knew looked great on white cars. It was going to be Illusion. I've had this tub here for about 5 years now, and you'll notice by how empty it was. Done another layer of this C-Class here and had loads in the tub left. So although it looked like it was running out, I've probably still got another 5 layers in that tub there. A 200 gram tub of wax does go a long way, and people don't seem to quite grasp that. I would say 60 to 70 layers per tub of wax if it's a 200 gram tub, so a little goes a long way with these products. With the bodywork waxed, like I said earlier in the video, I knew I'd be protecting the wheels, so I used Auto Finesse mint rims, my favourite wheel wax. Again, check back, I've made videos on that product in the past, teamed with a wax mate and a work cloth just made for a quick simple application of wheel wax to these wheels while the weather allowed me during midwinter clean. Final thing to do with the wheels waxed, the arches stressed and their paintwork looking great, was to add a tyre dressing. I know the owner of the car is not a massive fan of slippery looking tyres, so I went for something I've been playing around with the application on for a little while now, and that's Dressel. Sprayed directly onto the tyre and then massaged in with an old microfibre applicator. It gives quite a nice sheen to the tyre, but it's not too dramatic. One that I quite like. And of course, last but not least, tackling the grass with Crystal. Number of microfibers you can use here, but for me, just a plain microfiber is more than good enough. It's what I know works for me, it's what I stick to. Now, one last little glass cleaning tip of today. If you're doing a bigger detail, not just your maintenance wash, grab a key, drop the window down about 6 inches or so, and it accesses the top portion of the window that you can't normally get if you're working on a car with over the top pillars. A little spray of your glass cleaner onto your microfiber, and it just allows you to clean off that little accumulation of dirt that gets caught in the top rubber on the door over the course of a couple of months of winter driving. Little things that make the details come together and make that clean another 10, 20, 25% better than what it was before. That all said and done, the car was done. I was running out of light quickly, so I grabbed some finish shots. I'm double happy with the look of the car. let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below, and be sure to share, like, comment, subscribe and all of that good stuff for a few more of these videos, hopefully in the near future. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon.